Good morning to all the beautiful ladies who are here. It's a pleasure to have you all. I hope you can all hear me well and I hope you're following. So, thank you all for joining us again this morning for another productive and interactive session. I don't know, I felt so bad when I heard that today is going to be the last time we're going to be talking, but I believe we can always reconnect subsequently whenever that will be. So it was really a great time well spent with the leading ladies of Africa. So my name is Jane Francis. You can simply just call me Jane, all right? Jane for short. So I am Jane and I am going to be your trainer for today. I think people have seen Johanna's face so much. Let's try to change things a little bit, right? So I'm going to be your trainer for today. Johanna is our moderator. I can see him already engaging in the ladies who are joining us today and are part of our session. So I can see we have Mona. Good morning, Mona. Good morning, Cindy. Cindy, I am a writer, books for all children and older children. That's amazing. So happy to connect with all of you. Good morning, Evelyn. Oh, I'm happy that at least before this whole thing ends, people should see the person who has been engaging in the comment section with you. So good morning, Diana. Good morning, Anthea. Good morning, Nolita. Good morning, Marta. We have Damlin Dutois. Good morning. I can see Edith Langa. Good morning, Edith. Good morning, Kogi Reddy. I hope I'm getting the names right. Forgive me if I don't. And I can see Luisa. Good morning, Luisa. Good morning, Emmy. Good morning, Ellen Johnson, Bryony. No, okay, I think I've greeted Lolita. I've greeted Evelyn already. Marco Kwaye, good morning. Mapaseka, Banele. Oh, thank you all, ladies, for joining in. It's a pleasure, as always, to be here with you. So, like I said, I'm not here alone. I'm here with Johanna, who is already engaging with you in the chat box. He's going to be our moderator, attending to any questions that you may have. And we equally have Sandra. Sandra is on the call. She's the one broadcasting, making sure that things are running smoothly on the technical part. Okay, so I'm joining you from Cameroon today, from Yaoundé. It's a very cold weather today. Might probably rain. So that's it. Thank you all, ladies, for joining in. I can see Melania is equally here. Good morning, ladies. A pleasure to have you all. So today we are going to be talking about staying productive online. How can you stay productive online? You know, it's not very easy when you're connected online and you have all these messages coming in from different social media platforms. How can you stay productive online? Good morning, Folile from Eswatini. Glad to have you. I can see Josie Kim right there. Aquavi joining us from Mauritius. Thank you for being here. It's a pleasure to have you. We have Anne Fury, we have Vivian, Zine. Thank you all, ladies. Thank you. We have Opeyemi Bakare joining us from Nigeria. So thank you. Oh, Eddie, thank you. Thank you for the compliment on the hair. Thank you. I had to look good for you people today. All right. So, like I said, we are going to be talking about how you can stay productive online. That's basically what we are going to be discussing today. So, it's going to be an interactive session as always. We are going to have questions and that you constantly need to answer. And I believe we are already so knowledgeable on so much. So it's going to be an exchange of knowledge and information. Okay. I can equally learn so much from you. Good morning, Sikolo. Glad to have you. Thank you for joining us. So let's have a look at what our agenda today is going to be all about. So the first thing is we're going to talk about setting up your remote office. How can you go about setting up your remote office? It's very important. And we are going to now move on to build a productive work environment. That's the next aspect that we are going to discuss. And then the last thing we'll talk about is how you can manage and maintain your well-being. We talk a lot today about mental health, and how important it is, right? So when you're working remotely or strictly online, we're going to talk about how you can manage and maintain your well-being. Okay, so that's what we're going to discuss in the last part of our agenda today. So I would like to find out from you, before we begin, how has COVID-19 impacted your role, the role you play at your business or your job? How did COVID-19 change things for you? Please put it in the comment section. I would like to read your comments. Did COVID-19 affect you? I can see Sandra has equally joined us in the comment section. So please, if you have any worries, Johanna is there, Sandra is there. You have everybody just there to attend to any issues you may have. So, oh, thank you, Melania. Thank you. Good morning, Rosebell. Okay, we have um Sweni, I hope I got it right. Maka Makwake. Okay, Makwake from Soweto. Thank you for joining us this morning. Oh, Mona says she lost her job. I'm so sorry about that. Yes, it was a very trying time during when the COVID-19 pandemic just started. A lot of people were laid off. And we equally have Cindy who says cannot go to schools to do reading, storytelling. I am housebound. That's true. Yes, COVID-19 really, really, really impacted how we carried out our jobs. Ellen says it put her off business. Oh, ladies, I'm so sorry to hear this. It's rather unfortunate that the pandemic happened and we had to suddenly find a way to cope with it. But the good news is that despite the challenges that came with the pandemic, now there are ways, there are alternative measures that you can see how to get work moving. Okay, so we have Siko who says, at the onset of COVID-19, as a farmer, I couldn't access inputs and equipment. Oh, uh, Martha says, had to learn a lot to catch up with technology. Right, right. That's true, Martha. In those times, we have to see how to be flexible with our work and with our business. So, Denmark bridal weddings and events, it made us become top-notch hygiene addicts that has been maintained even after COVID, which is just great. Yes, that's the good side of it. Yes, hygiene and sanitation has improved. At least now you can greet somebody and you will not be worried, and can just quickly disinfect your hands. You'll not be worried about what they touched before they greeted you. And in fact, they don't even greet anymore. We maintain social distance. So Louisa said impacted her business badly, only it's just now she's trying to regroup. Okay, thank you for these contributions, ladies. Mona says yes, it made us stronger and we get to learn online self-educators to impact her. Thank you too, Mona. Thank you. So thank you for all these contributions, ladies. And it's rather unfortunate that the pandemic greatly affected us in a very negative manner. So anyway, we're going to see how you can still make things work from home. Okay, even if it's not just from home, we're going to be looking at how you can be productive online, how you can still get work moving despite not being able to be in the same place physically. Okay, so even if schools are shut down, what are the options we have? There's online tutoring, there's all of that. So anyway, that's what we're going to be discussing right away. So thank you for those contributions, ladies. So like I said, the first thing on our agenda today is how you can set up your remote office. Okay, you cannot go to work, you cannot do business like you used to, or maybe you've been laid off and you are thinking of starting your own thing from home. Okay, so let's look at how you can set up your remote office. So the first thing we'd like to break down is what is remote work. So remote work is just an alternative way of working, which is different from the traditional way of working that we are all accustomed to. So remote work is a working style that allows professionals to work outside of a traditional office environment. Okay, so it is based on the concept that work does not need to be done in a specific place to be executed successfully. So it's very possible for you to sit in the comfort of your home and do work, and you can equally change your locations, right? You can go to a library, wherever it's more convenient for you. But remote work gradually is taking over, okay, because it's giving people an alternative of doing work and executing their projects successfully without having to sit in a traditional office setting. Okay, so that's basically what remote work is. So let's take a look at where people can work remotely. The first thing is you can work from the house, right? A lot of times people always just use work from home to mean remote work, but the two terms are actually not the same. So yes, when you're working remotely, working from home is just one of the options that you have. Okay, you can work from home, you can equally work from a coffee shop. Okay, you can go to a coffee shop, set up a working space there and carry out your work successfully. So you can go to a restaurant even, or a bar, wherever it helps you improve productivity, because sometimes working at home can become a little boring sometimes when you spend a lot of time working at home. So you might want to switch locations a bit and go to a coffee shop. Okay, so when you work at home, you have flexibility. There are some advantages that come with working at home. You have that flexibility to handle life at home and manage work, especially for us ladies. A lot of us, I'm sure, here we are wives, we are mothers, we are caregivers. So when you work from home, you still have that chance to, handle work and home life without regularly committing to an office. Okay, so you can work from home, you can work from a coffee shop, you can equally make use of a co-working space. With a co-working space, a lot of freelancers is an option that a lot of freelancers use, a lot of remote workers equally use as well. But with a co-working space, you would have to spend some money, right? You have to spend some money to secure that space to regularly do your work there. Okay, and then you equally have a library. The library is equally a great place for you to do your remote work. It's usually very quiet, and then you equally have a lot of resources. You have books, you have a lot of things that you can learn from that can even help you to do your work better. And the good thing with libraries is that, and coffee shops, there are some of these libraries and coffee shops have free Wi-Fi, so you have that chance to do your work. You have internet right there at your disposal to get your work done. So working remotely now is a great way to still achieve your projects and achieve whatever task you have set for yourself or for your company. So if you don't have to go to the office anymore because of COVID, you can do it from home. Or if for some reason you couldn't continue work, you were terminated, think of that great business idea you've always wanted to do and see how best you can run it from home. Okay, the internet has made that very, very, very possible. All right, so what do you need to work remotely? I would like us to discuss on that a little. Can we put in the comment section, what do you think it's important for you as a tool? What do you need when you want to work remotely? Please drop it in the comment. Oh, Evelyn says, my business came to a standstill during COVID. I'm so sorry about that, Evelyn. Melania says, I closed my store, which had just opened. Oh, that's unfortunate. That's unfortunate. Thank you for your contributions, ladies. Good morning, Jeannie. Malaka, good morning. So please drop in the comment section. Okay, what do you need to work remotely? I would like to find out from you. If supposing you had to work from home, Jelinda says a laptop. Right. A laptop is one of those tools that you need to work from home. Penitola says you need internet. Awesome. That's true. You need internet, stable internet connection to be able to work from home. Good morning, Agri Innovation Hub. We are discussing what you need to work remotely. Yes, a laptop, Vivian. That's right. You need a laptop. Apart from a laptop, what other device can we use? Yes, internet and a phone or a laptop. Amazing. Yes, amazing. Yes. Luisa says laptop and Wi-Fi. Ellen Johnson, you need your laptop and Wi-Fi. Good. Mochabi says internet and a smartphone. That's amazing. Yes, a smartphone can still work if you don't have a laptop, but internet is like a necessity. Even if you're not using a laptop, internet has to be present. Ellen Johnson says an iPad. Right. If you have a tablet, it still works. Lady says journal. Yes, a journal can help you to keep your activities organized. Self-discipline is important when you're working from home. Nana says a laptop, phone, and internet. Edit says good communicate Google communication tools. Right, right, right. Communication is important with your team when you're working from home. Melania says, I now work at a coffee shop on Monday and Friday. Home has a lot of distractions, so only Tuesday to Thursday. Okay, thank you for sharing that. That's true. Working at home can be challenging, especially when you're not living alone. If you have kids, it's not easy keeping them in check and getting your work done. Martha says a tablet, benchmark, some peace of mind. Yes, Johanna. Okay, yes, Johanna, thank you for all the responses. So thank you, ladies. These are all great responses. Evelyn says a workspace. Oh, yes, that is important. When you want to work remotely, you cannot just sit anywhere, not on your couch or your bed. You need a workspace. Melania says a laptop. Amazing. Anthea, laptop, internet, cell phone, working space. Great, great, great. Jenny, cell phone. Thank you for these contributions, ladies. Thank you. Your answers are all right, all amazing. Yes, these are very, very important for you when you are thinking of working remotely. So, like we have already discussed, when you need to work remotely, you need a dedicated workspace, a space to separate work from home. Okay. So, it's very important that if you're working from home, you have your office, a small office set up somewhere, right? And that's your workspace. When it's time to work, I need to be seated here to get my work done. It's almost like when you want to study. I remember back in school, when I wanted to study and I was lying down on my bed, I would just open my book, and before I know it, I feel like dozing off, and I'll tell my friend, please, after 15 minutes, wake me up. I need to rest a bit. And after 15 minutes, she'll wake me up, and I'll say, no, I don't think 15 minutes has passed. Give me about 30 minutes more. And before you know, time has passed, and I've not opened my book. And then at the last minute, I'm rushing, I'm struggling to go through everything. So a dedicated workspace is very important for you when you want to be productive. And then we equally have devices. Your devices are very important. You need them if you have to work remotely, right? And we talked about laptops, we talked about phones, we talked about tablets, right? You equally need your internet connection to be smooth to make sure that work flows as it should. So you need a dedicated workspace, you need your devices, and you need internet. If you have these three, you're good to go. So let's see how you can go about creating your own workspace. When it comes to creating your workspace, like I said, you need to avoid the bench or couch. Anything that calls for laziness, that calls for I don't know, some anything that makes you lazy in some form, you just have to keep it aside. Oh yes, Vivian says electricity. Oh yes, that's very, very important. I know a lot of us have experience in South Africa. A lot of us usually complain about load shedding, right? So sometimes that can be quite challenging. So electricity is very, very important. Thank you for that contribution, Vivian. Yes, Javal says you need a laptop and internet, laptop, smartphone, diary. Amazing. So yeah, you can use your phone or your tablet as well with data or Wi-Fi. Thank you for that contribution, ladies. That's absolutely right. Very, very right. So, like I said, when it comes to setting up your workspace, the first thing you need to do is avoid the bed or the couch. Okay, it can get too relaxing and too comfortable for you to get productive. The next thing you need to do is set up a table and chair. Okay, you need your table and your chair right there, so you sit up and you're focused on whatever it is you're doing, right? There's no, even if you have to doze off on the table, it's not that comfortable, right? Before you know, the sleep has gone and you're back to doing your work. So you need to set up a table and chair. You need to make sure the space is comfortable. Okay, make sure that it is comfortable. You're seated in your, using the right posture to sit, because if you're bent over or you're slouching, it might not be a very great sitting position. And you realize that if you have to sit at a table and chair for a long period of time and you are not comfortable, you can develop a backache, right? So it's very important that your space is comfortable, and make sure that you put on your table whatever it is you need. Sometimes you might need that cup of coffee, you might need some water, whatever it is. Make sure that your space has whatever you need to get work going, you might want to equally put a snack box there, right? So that when you're tired, you can chew on something, get your energy back. And the last thing is to consider your posture. Like I said, it's very important for you. If your space is comfortable, then you should be well settled in, right? And make sure that you're sitting in the manner that doesn't affect your health later on, okay? And equally, your posture is important. Too much exposure to a screen and all of that can affect your eyes a lot. There's a lot that can affect your health, so it's very important to think about your posture, right? Consider your posture when you are setting or creating your own workspace. So if you take all this into account, then you should have a great workspace to carry out your work from the house, okay? So when it comes to the physical equipment you might need, like we had already discussed, your phone. You might need your phone. You might be working and you need to keep communication with the rest of your team, with the rest of your colleagues, and they might be trying to reach you on through a on phone, right? To find out how work is moving, how is this project coming along, we have this deadline and all of that. So you need your phone to stay connected, right? Even you might be working from your laptop, but it's still good to just keep your phone around. You might minimize distractions from your phone, but it's important to have your phone around. So your phone can act as your laptop if you don't have one, or you can use your laptop. All right, you can use your laptop and have your phone nearby, and then a notebook. Notebooks are, I mean, somebody talked about a journal, right? So it's very important to have your notebook right there. If you've noted the task that you want to complete for the day, at least the notebook should keep you on track as to what you've been able to complete so far and what is still left, okay? So these are the physical equipment that you might need. You might need your phone, your computer, and your notebook. So another thing we talked about was electricity, right? I remember somebody mentioned electricity. Um, yes, it was, yes, Anthea, yes, electricity, yes, very important. So electricity is very, very, very important. Good morning, Olufunke. Yes, Martha says you also need good ventilation and lighting. You may need a printer. That's right. If your work requires you to have a printer around, it's just good to set up your office and put a printer right there to facilitate your work. So when it comes to electricity, like I was saying, electricity is very important. It can play a great role in how fast or how how you complete your work. When electricity is not there, it's practically impossible for you to get anything done. So for you to be productive, you need stable power, and you need to make sure that all your devices are charged, right? So like we know what the problems we have in our different African societies, right? Like in South Africa, like I said, you have to deal with load shedding, and it's the same for most other African countries, whether it's Nigeria, whether it's Cameroon. Electricity is hardly ever, consistently available. So you need to make sure that your devices are constantly charged, and even when they're charged, you need to have an alternative source of power, right? So you need to make sure that your generating set is working. If you're using a generator, you have to make sure that you have fuel and it's working just fine, so that if electricity goes off this minute, you can quickly switch to your generating set. And you can equally try solar power devices, or inverters. Solar power now is equally very helpful. So, and it's eco-friendly, right? Solar power is highly encouraged these days. So you might want to try solar power devices as well, okay, to make sure that you constantly have power, and then power banks as well. So if you have a generating set, if you are using solar power devices or you are using a power bank, it's a very great backup, okay, in case electricity disappoints you. And as you have this backup, your devices are charged in such a way that they can run for a while, and even when they are running down, you can switch. Work shouldn't stop or slow you down because of power issues. If we have to depend on power to get things done and we don't have alternative sources, we would likely always be lagging behind, right? So it's very important for you to have stable power. Now we talked about internet. A lot of us mentioned internet. So no matter the device you're using, no matter what it is you're doing, internet is important. You need to be connected. You need to stay connected, because that's the best way for you to know what is happening with your team wherever they are working from, how are projects carrying on, so or even when you want to do research to make sure that you can complete a particular task, you need to make sure that you have good internet connection. So when it comes to internet connection, you need, stable internet. You need internet connection that is stable. So you need to choose the right ISP, the right internet service provider. Make sure that you're going for an internet service provider that is consistent, that has good speed, to do the work that you need to do. And then you need to consider a substitute. Okay, what if this network fails me? What if at some point the connection just goes off? I should be able to switch to something else, right? So you need to consider a substitute. It's good to have an alternative internet service provider. The third thing is you need to find the right router. It's very, very important. Once you have the right router, chances are high your internet speed is going to be fast, and you can quickly do the work that you need to do. If you Okay. And okay, anyway, let me just move to the next step before I give the example I wanted to give. So you equally need to make sure you plug into Wi-Fi, okay, and test and compare internet speeds. There are a lot of internet speed tests that you can take to make sure that your internet is good enough to do the work that you want to do. Like I'll take for example, if you're a tutor, okay, for some reason COVID has come and we cannot be in school anymore like we used to. We want to switch to online learning. We want to deliver lessons online. Okay. It's very important to make sure that your internet speed is fast, right? So you can constantly test your internet speed to make sure that it's good enough to avoid any hitches in connection. And in case you test, you see it's not good enough, you have your alternative internet service provider there that you can just switch to make sure that your lessons run smoothly. So you need to consider all this when you're thinking about having stable internet connection. All right. Choose the right internet service provider. Consider a substitute. Okay. Find the right router, plug into Wi-Fi, and then test and compare the internet speed so that you're sure that your internet is good to go and you can work well. All right, so I'd like to ask you another question. What are the challenges of working remotely? I think we had already mentioned some of them. I talked about some of us here being maybe mothers and caregivers. So, what are some of the challenges that come with working remotely? Mm, Hi, Janine. Thank you for joining us. Rowana, thank you. I'm glad you find this informative. Olufunke says, COVID made me close business as a result of lockdown. So sorry to hear that. So sorry to hear that. Okay, thank you for joining us. Shawa from Zambia. So happy to have you. So please drop in the comment section. What are the challenges of working remotely? Evelyn says distractions. Right, right. Distractions. If you have kids at home, it's not easy telling them, just stay in one place, let me finish this thing. Somebody will come and say, Mama, I want to use the toilet. Mama, I'm hungry. I want to drink water, and this and that. So, yes, there are a lot of distractions when you have to work remotely. What other challenges do we have? Do we have any other challenges we would like to put apart from distractions? Thank you, Evelyn, for that contribution. Mona says load shedding. That's right. That's right. That's one challenge that comes with working remotely. Fehintola says boredom, laziness may gain weight from being sedentary. That's so right. So right. Just being in one place can easily make you just gain weight because you're not doing a lot of physical activity. It's not like when you used to wake up and get dressed to rush to the office and rush back home. You're just on one place, on the computer eating, and the weight is just coming. Yeah, and we have Cabaniana Vivian. Yeah, she says unstable internet. That's true. Unstable internet can be an issue when you're working from home. Leading women, I think that's Madeline. She says working long hours. I realize that I work more remotely than conventional office. Yes, that's true. That can be an issue because when you work remotely and you have internet, somebody can still reach you at 8 p.m. and say, please, I have this thing that needs to get done. But if you were in the office, nobody should be able to assign any task to you, right? Yeah, that's a challenge. Thank you for that, Madeline. Edith says, I'm personally struggling to separate home responsibilities from job responsibilities. Yes, that can be challenging. It's not easy to dedicate time for to home responsibilities and work demands. Koji says family demands, yes. Load shedding, unseriousness from Evelyn, yes. That's what Evelyn says. Nana says distractions, laziness, less activities, yes. Discipline to stay focused. That's true. That's true. Discipline. I mean, you can be doing work and your favorite series is just starting. I remember there was this series I used to like watching. It was a South African series. I've forgotten the name. When it's starting, what's the name of that series? I've forgotten anyway, but it was one of my favorite series, and I remember there was sugar and all of that. So when those it's time for all those things, how do I switch off the TV and say no, I'm going to do my work? So it's not easy. Procrastination, that's true, Rennie, that's true. Because you can put things off until a later, so it results in not completing your daily goals. Thank you, ladies, for these contributions. Thank you. Yes, these are really very insightful, and you are all right. Louisa says security around your information when working in a public place. That's true. That's true. Sometimes people can be passing around and peeping to see what you're doing on your laptop, so you don't have maybe privacy if you're working from a coffee shop or from home with those you live with. Sikolo says unable to find the right time, maybe due to procrastination. Right. Cannot be able to conduct trainings, network, unannounced visitors. That's true. How do you tell somebody who is just showing up at your door that I have this thing to do? They might think you're not being hospitable, right? So these are all challenges that come with working remotely, and if you're doing it from home. Thank you, ladies, for these contributions. You all are amazing. So yes, Ellen Johnson just dropped lack of concentration and divided attention. That's true. That's very, very right. Okay, so let's look at these challenges. A lot of us have already talked about it in the comment section. So there are many challenges that come with working remotely, like we said. The first thing is loneliness or lack of social interaction. Sometimes you might just miss going to the office and being with your colleagues. Sometimes when you're at the office, there's this thing your colleague wants to gist you about. It's true that it's not professional, right? The office is a workspace for you to get work done. But there's a team bonding aspect, right, of being in an office. It makes you bond with your colleagues. And not having that can make you feel lonely, isolated from the group, just working from home. Okay. So there's loneliness, which is a challenge that comes with working remotely. You have self-discipline, like we just talked about. Self-discipline, I mean, it's not easy to tell yourself I'm going to wake up at 7 a.m. Remember, you're not rushing to work. You don't have a boss who will confront you for coming in late, right? So you have to discipline yourself to say, okay, imagine that I had to be at work at 8. I need to make sure that I'm up, I take my bath, I have breakfast and all of that. It's not easy to do that when you're working from home. So self-discipline is a major challenge. And then we equally have the lack of employee benefits, right? Sometimes when you're working from home, we can miss out on some employee benefits like medical insurance and many other benefits that come with being in an office, right? So there are some employee benefits that we can miss out on because we are working remotely. And then we equally have the difficulty switching off. Sometimes we have difficulties, it has to do similarly with self-discipline, respecting the times that we have set to complete one activity and move to the other. And like we said, it's hard to maybe switch off from something that you need to get done at home at the moment to focus back on work. So you have that, which comes as a distraction, okay? And then we equally have a challenge of missing out. Sometimes you can miss out on some vital information that is going around among your team members. Okay, sometimes something can be going on at the office. Imagine you were maybe doing some work and some particular people had to work from home. Not everybody could work in the office because because of social distancing with the COVID. So it was important to maybe decongest the office, right? So sometimes something can be happening in the office. Your colleagues who are there get the information first before it reaches you. Sometimes you might not get it, or you might get it really late, right? So sometimes that can be a challenge. You can miss out on some vital things. But whatever the case, no matter the challenges that come with working remotely, the benefits are higher than the challenges or the disadvantages. Okay. So, and the good thing is that we have a lot of communication tools available in such a way that if your team communicates effectively, you shouldn't miss out on any vital information. Okay, so we looked at the challenges that come with working remotely. Let's talk about the benefits. What are the benefits about working remotely? Can we put in the comment section the benefits that come with? Oh, yes, Kogi says mental issues and confined space. That's true. Being in a confined space can make you unhealthy mentally. That's a challenge with remote work. Ellen says mindset and stress free. Okay. Okay? Ellen is giving that as a benefit. Okay, stress free, I think. Okay, so Mona says she loves remote working. Thank you for sharing that, Mona. Tell us, why do you love remote working? What are the benefits you think that come with remote working that makes you like it? Please drop it in the comment section. Rainy says, I have put up a small whiteboard. I have put up a small whiteboard with my week or daily goals, and it helps me to stay focused, and I am aware of people I was meant to contact, meetings I'm supposed to attend. I remove tick off tasks done. That's amazing. That's amazing. So that's a really great way to keep you organized and to keep you focused on doing your work, even if you're not in the office or you don't have any boss, on constantly telling you what to do. All that helps you to stay organized and make sure that your tasks are completed when they need to be. So thank you for these contributions, ladies. It's so nice reading all of them. Jelinda says wearing pajamas. Yes. Well, yes, that's true. When you're working remotely, I mean, like right now, you don't know what you can just see what I'm wearing from my waist up, right? I could still be wearing my pajamas. You don't know. But anyway, I'm not wearing my pajamas. That's true, Jelinda. You don't have to stress too much about getting dressed up for work. That's true. We have Louisa. Okay, yeah. Thank you, Louisa. Edith, we are saving on traveling because that's true. When you have to commute, you spend on transportation. If you have a car, you would have to spend on fuel, petrol, like Malaka said, you save on petrol, or you would have to maybe take a taxi or a bus, whichever, but it definitely saves you transportation cost. Grace says, I concentrate more and do more. Okay, that's great. That means remote work is really working well for you. You have control of your time. That's true. That's true. You can start work at 8 and you choose to take a break at 9. But if you're at the office, your boss will tell you break is 12:1. That's true. You have control of your time. Angela says, can focus clearly without distractions. Great. You're in control of your time. That's true, Evelyn. Thank you. Save money. No extra office or shop rent. No extra office electrical bills. That's true. That's true. That's from Denmark Bridal Weddings and Events. Thank you for that contribution. Yes, you definitely save on a lot of cost. And then we have Fehintola who says you spend less on gas. Yes. You work less under pressure, no more unnecessarily long traffic jam, right? Right. I have more time for myself. You can make your own schedule that is not linked to anyone else's. Right, right. Mona says, lost my job in Durban, went to college in Western Cape, and I work after hours online with the same company that put me off. Oh, sorry about that. Well, I hope it's going well for you. I hope it's working well for you. Work till you drop anytime. That's true. That's true. Improves your technical skills and self-discipline, flexibility of time, no rushing. Thank you for all these contributions, ladies. You are all right. You are all right. Yes, you definitely save. You can multitask. You can get a lot done. So anyway, let's take a look at all of them. They are basically what you have all already talked about. So when it comes to the benefits of working remotely, you have flexibility, like, right, like we said, you have flexibility. You are the one in charge of your time, and you can be flexible with the way you do your work, as long as you complete the task for the day, right? There's no commuting. You don't have to leave the house paying transportation to go to an office and back. You have time with family. You can definitely spend more time with your family. Family gets to see you more at home than constantly being away from work or coming home late. At least they get to enjoy your presence at home. And you can have less distraction. Okay, when it comes to working remotely, that office gist that you used to share with your colleagues, it's not really there. So there's less distraction if you are equally disciplined as well. Put up the TV, make sure that you don't have any distractions. You shouldn't have any distractions working from home, and high morale as well, right? All goes to self-discipline. That it helps you to organize yourself in such a way that you get your, like, you discover that you can actually do so much without somebody being constantly behind you to get this done, or your boss is scolding, why haven't I seen this document I asked you to prepare, why haven't, and all of that. So you are motivated to make sure that you do things yourself without somebody constantly reminding you that do this and do that. So it definitely gives you a high morale and motivates and pushes you to work independently. Okay. Now, the another benefit when it comes to remote working for businesses, like the first benefits that we looked at were the benefits that come with working remotely for employees. Now, when it comes to businesses, you have reduced overhead costs, like somebody already mentioned. Like, you don't have to pay for an office, and pay all the bills that come with running that office. If you have an office, you have to pay rent. There are computers there, you have to pay electricity, you have to pay, there's a lot that comes with managing an office space. So it definitely reduces overhead cost. You have greater productivity, right? We have you can get work done without being stuck in traffic for about an hour before you can get it. Sometimes the whole traffic thing reduces your morale even to work for the day. Sometimes you come in late, your boss is not happy. Already that negative energy affects your work throughout the day, right? So there's greater productivity when you can just discipline yourself. You wake up, and tell yourself, I'm going to get this done today, and all of that. So businesses can enjoy greater productivity from their employees. And then we equally have access to wider pool of talent. That's something like, if I'm a business owner, I'm not obliged to recruit people only from Cameroon, right? If I want to run this business, I have a chance to get the best talent from South Africa, to get people that I know will get the job done and would make business move well for me. So when you're hiring remotely or working with people remotely, you have that chance to work with the best people no matter the geographical location. And you equally have improved employee retention. A lot of employees would likely stay and work for you, work for your business, when they are happy, working remotely. They are convenient with the work style and working remotely. Chances are high you get to keep your employees, you get to maintain your team instead of constantly hiring new people every time. So these are some of the benefits that come with remote working for businesses. So do we have any questions? Please drop them in the chat box. If everything was clear for you, still indicate with a yes or a thumbs up or your favorite emoji, however you want to indicate. All right, so please drop your questions if we have any. I'm looking out for them. Do we have any questions, ladies? Melania, thank you. Yes, flexibility, definitely. You can plan your day and incorporate, home activities to balance your life. That's true. That's very true. Thank you. Thank you, ladies. Do we? Okay. Thank you for that feedback. Yes, 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 from Evelyn Zine. Thank you, Grace. Thank you. I think we have a contribution. Somebody said, no theft of equipment. All your office equipment is always safe. That's true. That's true. Nobody can break into your office space. Yeah, that's true. Thank you, ladies. Thank you. So let's continue if it's all clear and we don't have any questions. All right. Thank you, Luisa. Thank you for your contributions. Okay. So the next thing we're going to look at is how you can build a productive work environment. If you're working remotely, how can you make sure that your environment enables you to be productive. So your work environment is very important. Your work environment is very important. The quality of your workspace is very vital to your productivity. So the first thing you need to do to make sure that your workspace enables you to be productive is to designate an area. Like I said, if you're working from home, have a space that is meant for work. All right. When it's time to work, I know I'm going to be seated here. I'm not going to be on the couch or, relaxing on a very, I have a specific place where I get work done. A second thing is find the right chair for you. It's very important. As you're setting up your office, make sure that you have a chair that is comfortable for you, because you're likely going to be sitting there for a lot of hours, for very long hours. So you might want to get a chair with wheels that allows you to move easily. If you have a very large desk, right? Make sure that your chair has wheels so that you don't have to constantly wake up to take maybe a pen or a jotter or something. Now you need to make sure that you have a filing system to make sure that your documents and everything is organized. You need a filing system, okay, so that your desk is not constantly messy. You're looking for a document, you have to be scattering the whole place. Need to make sure that you have a filing system that keeps everything you are doing organized. So it's very important for us to know that um a lot of distraction, a lot of decline in productivity comes to workspace distractions, right? So there is a 40% decrease in productivity due to workplace distractions. That's one thing we need to take note of. So usually when we are working from home or from the office, it's very important for us to stay concentrated, because 40% of decrease in productivity comes from workplace distractions. And due to this, we can have a 27% increase in errors. We can have a 27% increase in errors. So it's very important for us to make sure that our work environment enables productivity. So how can we go about minimizing distractions? Can we put in the comment section if we have any ideas as to how we can go about minimizing distractions? Anyway, as you're dropping that, I wouldn't want us to run out of time, so I will go right to it, but I'll come back and read your contribution. So the first thing is you need to let others know your working hours. Like somebody talked about an impromptu visit from an unannounced visitor, or even from the people living in your house. Tell them from 8, I'm going to be here doing this. Nobody should come and distract me asking me for this or that. Let others know your working hours. Do one thing at a time. Very struggling to do a lot of things at the same time without really completing any. So make sure you do one thing at a time. Helps to keep you organized. Avoid TV and household distractions. Like we said, keep the TV very far. Put away all pets. Make sure that as you're walking, your dog doesn't suddenly come in, or your cats wanting you to cuddle and pet. Put away all your pets and take regular breaks. Make sure you have breaks. If you have to sit in the same space, you know, for long hours, maybe from 8 to 4, it can be very draining. So make sure that from time to time you leave your seats and, go outside for a stroll or something to have a break.
Good morning, ladies. Good morning. Good morning. I'm so sorry for the interruption from Jane. I think she had a technical issue, but nonetheless, we are going to continue. And we'll see how we can do. So all these kind of things do really happen, right? So it do happen, and after all, we're in Africa, and so we kind of experience some downtime in the network, and also internet services sometimes. So thank you very much for as in taking out time to be here, and all of that. So I will just want to continue from where Jane stops, so that we will actually run through. So I just want to run you through some basic communication, how to set rules to communicate effectively, and all of that. So firstly, I hope we are all actually doing well. So I'm actually happy. I thank, at least I'm privileged to be here for the last time before we actually wrap up the training. So setting up set rules to communicate effectively. Number one is you need to communicate clearly. There can never be over communication, especially when you are working with people, right? So you need to also know how to set up communication. Over communicate just to get your message very clear. Then think about the type of message and context. Respond promptly and set and do the role model guidelines. So all we are trying to encourage is having effective communication tools, and apart from that, ensuring that your message, your communications are clearly understood by people. So we have different kind of communication tools that we can leverage on right now, right? We have come across some of these things. We have come across Zoom, Google Meet, Skype, WhatsApp, and Microsoft Teams. These are tools that I think during the COVID last year, I think a lot of people have actually engaged with directly or indirectly, right? So a lot of people have actually engaged with through meetings, through trainings, and other activities. So we have always leverage on these tools to ensure that we connect with teams who are working remotely, to improve the level of our communication and to also boost collaboration. Because one thing about collaboration is having to work with a lot of people, having to work with your team, having to work with your office people, having to work with your business partners, and all of that. So these kind of tools actually help you to leverage and to on and also create that effective communication. So we have things like Google Meet. I know in the beginning of this training we started with Google Meet, and I know a lot of people might have experience in on Google Meet, and it's actually an enterprise grade conferencing platform where you get to have a meeting with people, you get to share your screen, you get to see them live on camera, and all of that, right? So it's actually an amazing tool that you also need to keep up. And now, why we are actually calling out these tools is because as a business owner, you need to also kind of map out tools that will actually work for you and tools that will actually work for your business partners, for people that you'll be working with, right? So if your business partners are comfortable working with Zoom, you can outline and say, okay, for our business, this is our communication tool. We are going to be going with Google Meet, or we are going to be going. So all this is so that everybody will have, if it means for them to have the applications on their phone, they need to also install. Then we have the Zoom. As you all know, with Zoom is one of the most trending meeting platform that we have online these days, where a lot of activities, both trainings, seminars, and other things used to happen on Zoom, right? So Zoom is also actually an amazing platform for us to explore and look at. Now, Microsoft Teams is actually powered by Microsoft itself. So you get to create teams and channels to organize your meetings, to organize department. If you have a large business and you have finance department, you have sales department, you have marketing department, you get to work with all of them by managing them across Microsoft Teams, right? So you get to create meetings and all of that. And all most of these tools is they are usually free within just some limited resources, right? So you can use my Google Meet for free, as far as the capacity of people you'll be accommodating in that meeting cannot exceed 100, right? So these tools can actually be leveraged on for free. We have seen Skype. Skype has been there for years, and a lot of people leverage on it, especially for international calls, for international meetings, and all of that, right? So when you will have international partners that are very comfortable leveraging on Skype, you can use it. It's for a massive full screen video. You can send chat invites to anyone and also get to blur your background. Just like me now, if I don't want you to see my background, if I'm on Skype, I can actually do well to blur such kind of background. So that is one of the amazing features of Skype, right? Then how do we run effective meetings? Running effective meeting has to do with how well you are organized, how well are you organized. So you might think meeting can just be calling people together and say, okay, what are we discussing today, and all of that. So for you to have an effective meeting, number one, you need to set agenda. Set it straight at the beginning of the meeting, just like we did for this training, where we just come in the beginning and tell you we are going to cover three basic agendas, right? So that is us setting an agenda for this training. So for you to have an effective meeting, you also need to set an agenda. Consider the tone of your voice always in meetings, because sometimes personal emotions can come into play when you are discussing, especially when you are working with a lot of people, right? So know how to communicate with people, know the kind of voice. So some people might feel your voice is aggressive, some people might feel your voice is rude, and probably you might just trying to say something and all of. So always consider the tone of your voice. I encourage using camera just to ensure that people are actually working from home or from a private space and all of that. So it won't be like somebody is in the market square trying to price tomato and he's telling you he's actually listening to your meeting. They'll always be timely, because time is everything. That shows discipline across your employees, right? So you need to actually communicate effectively with your team. Actually properly displayed, right? Then consider your lighting, consider your background as well. You can't be in a noisy background when you are in a video conference, right? So video conference, right? Sign of distraction passing through you and all of that. Then consider your audio. It needs to be audible. And it's very, very important, right? It's very, very important that your audio is actually audible. So always take that into account, right? Now, top tips for collaborating effectively. Number one, you need to equip your team with the right tools. That's why we are saying now, as a business person, as an individual, right? If you have a company or you manage a business, you need to have standards to where you do things. You say, okay, for communication, we are going to focus on only Gmail and Slack, or only Gmail and WhatsApp. For collaboration tools, we are going to focus on only Google Docs and Google Sheet and this and that. So you need to equip your team. And after setting those standards or equipping your team with the tools, if they don't have the needed training, it's very important you give them the training on how to make use of those tools, right? Then make project management easier by leveraging on project management tools. Make your document sharing easy and always accessible, especially within your teams. Encourage collaboration within departments and prioritize company culture. All this can actually help you in collaborating effectively with your team. Now, final thought is for productivity, always over communicate. Like I said, communication cannot be over communicated, right? So you need to make it more and more clearer for somebody, because communication is actually one of the most sensitive part of working with people. So if you not communicate with your team regularly and keep them in the loop, they might actually lose you at the long run, right? So you get to always over communicate to them, always reach out to them, always emphasize or stress out. When you tell somebody, do me a task, you can also do well to ask, send him a mail and outline the task again, so that he can make reference to be disciplined. Remote working is not a vacation, no a paid leave, right? Yeah, you're working remotely, it's fine. You're at the comfort of your home, it's fine. Yeah, but that doesn't mean you're in a vacation where you don't tend to pick your system and do your tasks and all of that, right? So always be disciplined, then have your tools ready for work, then find your booster and use it always. So that is how remote work can help you. So now I'm going to pause here a few minutes for question. So if you have question, you can please drop your question and I would love to take them, right? So please, if you have question, you can do well to drop your question, right? I want to see a lot of questions coming in, right? So please, if you have question, you can by all means drop your questions, so that we are going to look at them and see how we can. But if actually you have totally understood.
Okay, okay, so we are back. Thank you, a huge thank you to Johanna for taking things up. I really apologize. That was, you know, um, small internet break. I'm really, really sorry about that. All right, so thank you, Johanna, for taking over and doing such a great job at it. So please drop your questions, ladies. Drop your questions. We are going to take them quickly before we move to the third part of our agenda. But in case in fact, I will go a bit faster. So in case I don't see your question right away, Sandra is right there, Johanna is there. They are going to answer any questions you have. All right. So thank you very much for just understanding and staying right here. Okay. So the last thing we had on our agenda today was how you can manage and maintain your well-being. How you can manage and maintain your well-being. It's very important when you're working remotely to make sure that you're in your best shape, okay? If you're not healthy, you cannot produce quality work. So why is it important to manage your well-being? Can I have some responses from you, ladies? Why is it important to manage your well-being? Please put those in the chat box. Drop all your contributions in the chat box. So it's important to manage your well-being because the very first thing is that it impacts your overall health. When you don't feel fine, when you're not okay, it definitely impacts your overall health. The next thing is it leads to greater productivity. When you feel great, when you feel good, you definitely work better. And the third thing is that it increases your resilience, right? When you feel good, when you enjoy doing the job that you do from your work, from your home or coffee shop, wherever it is you're working remotely, it definitely increases your resilience to put up with the challenges that come with working remotely. So it's very important to consider your well-being, and it boosts your morale and your levels of happiness. So it's very, very important to think about your well-being as you work remotely. All right. So the next thing we're going to move on to look at is what can you do to manage your well-being? What can you do? I saw a lot of responses already about keeping your space clean, making sure it's well ventilated and all of that. Yes, all that contributes to making you feel good, and it in turn makes you work better and increase your productivity. So thank you for those responses, ladies. We're going to take a look at that now. So the first thing that you need to consider when it comes to your well-being is to avoid overworking. All right, it's important for you to take regular breaks. Avoid overworking. You need to set up reminders to take breaks. Make sure that as you're jotting something down in your calendar as to the task you need to do, you include your break in those tasks, okay? Taking a break should be one of the tasks you have so that you can relax and refresh before you continue with work. You need to be clear with your team when you are leaving, okay? If you are off, you've been given some days off, you are on leave, let your team know. Communicate with your team so that they don't send you emails and a lot of things or assign tasks to you when you should be resting, when you're off from work. Make sure that you turn off notifications when you're on break, right? Just like when you go to church and you put off your phone to avoid distractions. Make sure that when you are on break, you turn off all notifications or anything that will still pull your attention to work and deprive you of your break. And then the last thing you need to do is to schedule in an activity, like taking a walk, like we said, riding a bike, going to the gym at the end of the day. Make sure that once you're done with work, schedule an outdoor activity for yourself because you spend a lot of time indoors doing work. So all this is going to, enhance your well-being and definitely make it easy for you to continue doing your remote work as you should. So when it comes to remote work, you need to be ready for the culture shifts, okay? Because when you are working remotely, especially if you have been used to working from a traditional office, there are some adjustments you need to make, right? So you need to embrace the shift, okay? So in order to embrace this shift, in order for you to adapt to the new working situation, the first thing you need to do is to trust your overall performance. If you trust your overall performance, then you would still do great, working remotely. The next thing you need to think about is to rethink your concept of work, right? Work doesn't always have to be in an office. So in order for you to adapt to the culture shift, rethink your concept of work. And then you need to understand your commitments. That's the best way for you to equally, shift and just adapt to the trend or to the change as to how work will now be going on. So you need to understand your commitments. When you understand that, it's easy for you to still pull through with those commitments no matter wherever it is you're working from. And you need to be patient. You have to learn to be patient with your colleagues, with your employees, and with your own self as well, right? Because shifting from a traditional workspace to remote working, sometimes the adjustment is not easy for everybody. So you need to learn to be patient. Okay, so when it comes to managing your overall well-being, here are some things that you need to take note of. The first thing is to exercise regularly, like we said. Try to incorporate physical activities because you spend a lot of time at home sitting at a desk. You need to view mental health as seriously as your physical health. Like you go to the hospital to check for any illnesses you may have, equally pay attention to your mental health. It's very important. You need to check in with your manager or your team regularly. All right. Constantly stay connected with your manager and your team so that you're constantly in the loop of what is going on. You need to separate your professional and personal life. It's very important. Separate the two, all right? So they don't clash, they don't interfere with each other, because once they interfere, it will in some way affect your well-being. You might feel burnt out trying to manage the two. And you have to organize in-person social meetups, okay? Even when we're working remotely and we're apart, once in a while it's very important to organize social meetups where the team can still come together and reconnect like you used to do at the office, you know. So it's very, very important when it comes to your well-being. So do we have any questions, ladies? Please put them in the chat box. If we have any concerns, please put in the chat box. I know I was fast. um okay, I hope I wasn't too fast, but please, if you have any questions, drop them in the chat box. All right. All right. I think the yes, Johanna will soon drop the attendance link. Please don't forget to fill the attendance form. All right. Please don't forget to do that. All right. I'm glad this is helpful, ladies. Thank you. Yes. Like we said, your well-being is important. So incorporate a lot of physical activities. So we have Rennie who says do positive affirmations. That's true. You know, to help stop negative thoughts. That contributes a lot to your mental health and your overall well-being. Thank you. Thank you, ladies, all for your responses. So I hope yes, hydrate, have your water, make sure that you constantly take breaks and all of that. So thank you very much for your responses, ladies. I hope. Okay, I'm glad the pace was fine and I didn't rush. All right. So thank you very much, ladies. Please don't forget, Johanna has dropped the attendance form. Okay. Please do not forget to fill the form. Do we have any questions as to how we can be productive online? Because that's what we're talking about today. Please, if you have any questions, drop them in the chat box. All right. I would like to read. Yes, Rennie talks about listening to motivational speakers. Thank you, Les Brown, Miles Monroe. Thank you, ladies. This has all been, I mean, I'm so happy that we could have this discussion. Are taxes applicable when working from home? That's the question that Ben Mark Bridal Weddings has asked. Are taxes applicable? Yes, as long as you're running your business and it's a registered business, I believe you still have taxes to pay. I believe you might not, yes, as long as you have a registered business, you still have to do what you need to do to the states or to the government of your country. So thank you, ladies. We do need well-being practitioners a lot. That's true. That's true. A lot of times it's undermined here, but we sure do need practitioners to help us with mental health and all of that. Let's cannot always be witchcraft, right? Sometimes we do need people to help us with um issues that have to do with our mental health. Thank you, ladies. Janine, Louisa, thank you all so much. I think we are going to, this is where it ends. It was a great journey. Thank you so much, ladies, for being so active and being so present from one weekend to the other. So when it comes to your next steps, please go to with google.com/digital skills/courses. If you click on that link, they're going to drop it. Johanna or Sandra will drop it. If you click on that link, you have access to a lot more information on everything that we have done throughout this training, no matter the topic. Okay. And you equally have the chance to be part of a bootcamp with Google. There are usually bootcamp programs that Google organizes, and you can take part. Make sure that you get more knowledge applicable for your business to make sure that you are scaling your business. So you can equally connect on social media. You can go to Facebook, facebook.com/digital skills for Africa. Twitter, if you're on Twitter, twitter.com/digital skills for Africa. And if you're on Instagram, instagram.com/digital skills for Africa. And you can equally connect with Impact How, all right, on Facebook, LinkedIn, Instagram, and Twitter. Impact is equally very active on this platform. So please connect with us. If you want to learn more, or if you just want to give us feedback as to how this knowledge is helping your business, kindly connect with us. So it was a pleasure, ladies. Thank you so much. I'm glad we did this, and I really enjoyed our session today. So thank you very much, ladies. So this is goodbye from us at Impact Her. It was a pleasure. So take great care of yourselves and enjoy your weekend, ladies. Goodbye. Goodbye.